we, Emevor, alongside Iyede and Owe, we are like one people. We all migrated from Benin and settled in Iyede. If a king passes on, the Ikegwas, they will cease to be. The Ejes that is next, they already know themselves.
We do not know if there are still festivals in Emevor Kingdom or everything has been modernized.
There is a place we call Mkwedion. You are not supposed to lie there.
When Governor Sheriff defected, he said his defection was to connect Delta State to the center. Would you say that Emevor has been connected to the center so far?
Governor Sheriff has already sold himself to my people and to Deltans.
I should call you an encyclopedia of knowledge.
Let's just say you didn't add lawyer. I'm a qualified lawyer too. What we want is more infrastructure. Everyone welcomes the world for investment.
The next chapter of Delta State's economic
Situated in a Soko North local government area of Delta State, Emevor Kingdom is a community with a rich cultural heritage, a respected traditional institution, and a people deeply rooted in unity and progress. Like many ancient kingdoms in the Soko nation, Emevor continues to preserve its customs while embracing development and modern governance. Joining us is the Otota and spokesperson of the Emevor Kingdom, Chief Dr. Paul Oredina Owe, who also serves as the chairman of the Delta State Hospital Management Board. In this conversation, he shares insights into the history, governance, cultural heritage, and developmental aspirations of the Emevor Kingdom.
Thank you very much, Chief Dr. Paul Owe, for giving us this audience. Now, let's move very quickly. As the Otota of Emevor Kingdom, what is the Otota? It is a unique position, and we would like you to walk us through the process of the installation of the Otota and also the responsibilities of this office.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome. Otota of Emevor Kingdom is one of the traditional positions that are available in Emevor. Otota literally means spokesperson, spokesman of the community. In other words, he helps to convey the position of Emevor to the people of Emevor and to the outside world. That is primarily their function. But beside that, there are also specific duties assigned to that office. For example, as Otota of the kingdom, you play specific roles in the process of installation of the new Odeon of the kingdom. Also, anytime the community holds its highest local meeting, which is called a Gwafiede, he also plays a role there in conjunction with other traditional people, apart from social events and other activities that he can do. So it's a critical office for the traditional governance of the community. It is not hereditary, both from tradition and by documented declarations that we have in Emevor. It's available to every qualified son of Emevor. It's a position for man. And every qualified son, by which we mean a grown-up adult who's married and has not committed any offense. So every man. However, whenever the position becomes vacant, the Emevor Council of Chiefs they play a pivotal role in the emergence of another one. And the reason for that is simple. By our tradition, by the rules, the Otota of Emevor Kingdom must emerge from amongst a member of Council of Chiefs. In other words, you must first be a chief of the kingdom before you can be elected from amongst the chiefs to be Otota if the post become vacant. And once the post is filled, the occupant, stays there for life. That is the precedence. That's what we know.
Then let's go towards the emergence of the Emevor Kingdom, because I know you didn't just fall here. There must be a migration. Where did the migration started from, and how did the name Emevor Kingdom come into emergence?
We, Emevor, alongside during the reign of one king in Yede back then, called Otota, people would look for other places. So the founders of Emevor moved from Yede. First, they settled in Emede. There's still Emevor quarter in Emede till today. And eventually, many of them migrated and moved down to Emevor. The founder of Emevor is Emevor. He's credited with founding the place. So he's the one that came maybe with brothers or sisters or associates and settled there first. And subsequently, other important personalities begin to settle down until now the name Emevor is children are there. Children are plenty there. It's a way of saying, come on, let's grow. And today, truly, we are Emevor because the place has grown to what it is today. In a brief, that's how we came to where we are.
How do you address your king? Do we say the OVA or do we say the Odion of Emevor Kingdom? Just tell us, how do we know this is the right name attached to this office?
Okay, we don't have OVA. What we have is Odion of Emevor. Our traditional ruler is addressed as the Odion of Emevor. And that's what we have always had historically. As of today, that is what we still have. Now, talking about traditional structure, at the apex of our traditional structure in Emevor is the Odion. Odion is the highest office you can reach traditionally. Now, there's what we call Odion in council. It's just like talking about state executive council. So you have a governor, you have ESCO. So we have 4 Iletus. There are persons we call Iletus. They are like warriors. They are like generals. Historians put together, they are called members of the council. So they are part of them. Then there are this set of people we call Ikegwas. They are about 8 or 9. So when you put the Ikegwas together, the Ikegwas represent different age group. And then the Iletus, the Ikegwas, with the king sitting forms, Odion in council. And when an Odion takes a decision, a traditional, beside that, there is Otota, Odion. So, yes, the Odion sitting now is entitled to bring somebody who will be a spokesperson for him. So he has the right, the liberty to pick anybody he wants. And he will so appoint him as Otota. So from what I'm telling you now, you can see there are 2 types of Ototas in Emevor. Otota Odion. That one is personal to the Odion. And Otota Ewo, that is the spokesperson for the community. So all these people work together for the peace and harmony of the community. If a king passes on, the Ikegwas, they will cease to be. They can only be reconstituted. But if a new king comes, they will be reconstituted with the new kings, So, however, the Otota is not tied to the tenure of any particular king. So it's supposed to be, or rather, it is a lifetime conferment. You play that role as long as you are alive, except where maybe you have been involved in a gross misconduct or a conduct that is not befitting of that office, they can then remove you.
Let's go to the selection of the kingship. Is it hereditary or it is rotational? When you say it is rotational, what are the criteria that qualifies an individual for this particular person to say this person is fit to be a king?
Okay, so this is it. This system of age and succession is something that has been established over a long period of time. Now, during the reign of any Odion in Emevor, male children of Emevor descent, your father has to be from Emevor, at least your father. It's a patrilineal society, not matrilineal. So if your father is from Emevor and be initiated into the age group of that king, so there are several kings in the past, and for every king, he has a group. So when any sitting Odion passes on, the AJs that is next, they already know themselves. For example, the one that is being contested currently is the AJ group of Ekbe, Owe Akokutu, who reigned somewhere between 1952 to 1961 or thereabout. So the people who entered the AJ that time, for those of them who are still alive, they come together, and through a process known as Irere, the oldest one amongst them that are alive is determined. And once that person is determined, he's crowned as the Odion of the kingdom.
Now, when you say the kingship process is only patrilineal, are you trying to say that a woman cannot be a king, or a woman cannot, say, I want to be a king? It's just mainly for the men alone. So women are not in for kingship process.
It's strictly for men. Ladies cannot. And take notice, let me now tell you this. For every age, a number of them may be surviving as at the time they are due to contest. So like this last one, about 15 of them came out. The Irere that I mentioned is a process of elimination. So if we are all here now, we'll put them together. You look at yourself. If you know very well that one of them is older than you, you just disqualify yourself. And we keep going until you get to a place where there is difficulty in separating, and they're supposed to ask each other questions and look for a way of eliminating themselves. So once one emerges and he becomes king, all the other members of the AJ can never be king again. They then play some other traditional functions and titles and roles, but not ever becoming a king. So if this one passes on, when the next one is another set of AJ that will now come on board.
Now, you talked about age. In an issue whereby this person is over 120 years or over 100 and he cannot speak or he cannot see, do you say that because this person is the oldest, despite his health issues, and you say, okay, yes, we are going to crown him irrespective of whatever his health challenges may be?
Thank you. That's an excellent question. Theoretically, there's no limit. But practically, there is a limit. And the limits are as you have just stated. If now you turned out to be the oldest person, as Odion of Emevor, you are under obligation to stand up and greet the people who are conducting the whole exercise. So if, because you have become so old that you cannot perform some of these basic functions, either physically or mentally, that may on its own disqualify you and the next person takes over. So it is not sacrosanct. It's actually the oldest, but where the oldest becomes incapable, then the next one. And the incapability should be obvious to everyone. You don't need special medical report. It's just obvious to you that this person is not going to be able to do it. And then the next one.
Now, the Emevor people, what are they known for? What is the official command start to say these Emevor people, this is what they are known for? Are they known for trading? Are they known for fishing? Are they known for, what is the major thing that brings in money to the people of Emevor community?
Yes, Emevor traditionally, from, historically, they are largely farmers. From then till now, particularly more so for the women. Most of the women, they engage in some form of farming or the other. And basically, they do a lot of cassava. Cassava is one of the produce they do a lot. They also do yam and some other farm produce. Trading is also there for the women in particular. Our women are very, a lot industrious. So some of them trade too. And talking about Emevor people, what they are known for, education should be one of them. Education should be one of them. Among the committee of communities in Isoko Nation, Emevor is one that registered some of the earliest elites. Until today, they still have record of a larger number of enlightened people. For example, at a point in this whole Isoko, Emevor had the highest numbers of professors on grants, and that is traceable to their educational history. James Wedge Emevor is probably the oldest secondary school around, and that helped our people a lot. They came in contact with white missionaries. Some of them became catechists. They did well in clergy education and all that, and their children, they got raised, and so they got exposed to Western education, relatively earlier than our people. And as of today, James Wedge Grammar School is still standing there, and we're doing everything we can to ensure that it stands, and because it's a major legacy of our people. We have other secondary school there now, Emevor Mixed Grammar School, where you have boys and girls. We also have an open university, which was facilitated and supported, heavily by one of our illustrious son, Professor Sogolu, contributed massively in having that place. It's running courses. So educationally, so apart from farming, apart from trading, I think in the education industry, we are not doing badly too, in addition to other routine things that we do.
When we talk about Emevor community, how many quarters or clans make up the Emevor kingdom?
They're like 14 in number. And these 14, they are made up of 4 quarters, not necessarily in equal number. Now, what I'm telling you now is historical. Quarter, 4. So they have different names. You have Enyuru, you have Eti, you have Enye, you have... each quarter has either 2 or 3 traditional streets. I remember I told you that a quarter has Oletu. Oletu is like, it's representative of the warlord of the time, but it's still in existence till today. Each quarter still has... Now, if you're an Emevor man, you must trace your route to one of these 4 quarters. Now, because of expansion, modern growth, so there are new and all that. But if you're a true Emevor son, you will know your quarter. You trace yourself back to where you come from. So it's very important.
Let's talk about the developments in Emevor. I'm sure there are some developments here that are not even known to most persons, not just in Delta State as alone, but in Nigeria. What would you say are the developmental strides here in Emevor Kingdom?
Emevor is an oil-producing community that should be noted. We have some wells, and both the gains and the problems of oil, we are not immune to them. And by virtue of this oil and our involvement in politics and all that, a few infrastructural development here is the construction of Emevor Rogu Road. That road has been put into phases. Phase 1 was started by immediate past governor, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Got it up to a certain level before he left office. We are eternally grateful to him as a community, as a person. I know what he did for me, and I know what he did for us as a community in getting that road started, because The agitation for that road has been long-standing. And that road has so much implication for our people. So when he left office, Governor Sheriff Oborewori came on board. And we were apprehensive because we didn't know what is going to happen. And to God be the glory. Governor Sheriff came, took over the road, and he expedited action. And in his first year in office, it's one of the major projects he commissioned. And not only commissioned it, he approved the second phase, which has pushed the roads deep down through most of the villages of Emevor. And as I am speaking to you, the road is literally completed, and it will be commissioned anytime from now. So, and I know and I believe and I pray that he will approve the final phase that will take it down to Orogun. Now, that's one major event in development that will has already transformed the lives of our people, because we have villages. Apart from Emevor town, which I have been describing to you, we have 5 villages along the line in between Emevor and Orogun, and this road passes through them. And I can assure you that with that road, those villages are now going to develop faster. And it's such a wonderful thing. And we remain eternally grateful to Governor Sheriff Oborewori for what he's doing.
If I'm bringing in investors, let me say 10 or 15 investors to Emevor Kingdom, how would you sell it to them when you talk about those roads to the villages, which you just said Governor Sheriff Oborewori is doing a good work by, linking them? Would you say that these investors will get a return of their investment, in huge folds? And how would you describe the peace and safety for those investments?
This question you are bringing aboard has a universal application. That is peace. Because the environment for investment and gains from investment can only come from peaceful environments. And I can tell you, as I'm seated here, that Emevor is a peaceful community. Emevor has been a peaceful community historically. Even all our deities and all that we have, they are not geared at attacking people. They are geared at protecting our people for prosperity. So Emevor is good. We are peaceful people. We run by rule of law, both our tradition and in government and everything. So any person who desires to bring any form of investment, I can assure them, yes, that they can. Our people are not only peaceful, they are friendly. Of course, there may be 1 or 2 aberrations here and there, but Emevor is good, and with the road and some other things I have not mentioned, it positions Emevor for such investment. Because if you want to go to a community or a place, to example, power, as of today, we still have some power issues, but I do know that appropriate authorities are looking at them. So if we have roads, we have power, we have a friendly environment, and we have friendly people, I think investment and investors are highly welcome, and they will not regret it. And beside that, let me also tell you this. Emevor is located in such a strategic place that whatever you produce in Emevor, whatever product you have for the world from Emevor, can easily reach target audience. Look at Ughelli, it's there barely 10, 15 minutes away. Ughelli is a major metropolis now, and Ozoro is on this other side, Ule is here, and all these are well connected by road now, so Emevor welcomes the world for investment.
A lot of modernization has come into existence, and we do not know if there are still festivals in Emevor Kingdom or everything has been modernized. If there are festivals, can you give us like 1 or 2? And also, these festivals, are they well known and appreciated by the Emevor people that they actually want to travel home every year to say, I'm going for a festival in my hometown?
We do have. And the most important one is the Idu festival. It's the festival of our most revered deity, the Ovieke. The Iju festival is done in honor of that deity. He instituted it. And Ovieke is still there till today. It's one of our most revered deity. There's a whole lot of family devoted to the deity, the Eduri family. And the chief priest, the Eduri, is also an important traditional institution, traditional office in Emevor. Now, the Iju festival is noted for fire. You know, if you come, you see people, you know, in their traditional outing and outfits. You know, and they use fire, naked fire, to burn themselves, but they will not be hot. It's so amazing. It's very popular, and it brings our sons and daughters from the cities every April, May. The Iju festival is still, and it's very exciting to indigenous. Now, let me just mention something here, talking about tradition and traditional festivals. There's a lot of correlation between our Iju festival and the festival they do at Urugu. Then we also have Owuru festival. Now, the Iju festival is done annually. We've done it this year. We've done it every year that I know. We've not missed Iju any year that I know. And I will invite you to the next one. So our festivals are still there. And they are a remembrance of what our forefathers started. And these things continue to link us with the history of the way we started. Each one has implication. I can tell you both the Ovieke and the Iju prosperity of the people. That's what they stand for.
Kingdom, and in what areas would you want the government to assist?
Your remarks are correct. Every society must have what they are doing well and their challenges. Our challenges, I'll put them both political and traditional. What will every community want? What we want is more infrastructure. I just mentioned to you just now, and I mentioned it for appreciation, what is going on in Emevor Orugu Road. And I mentioned Senator Dr. Ato Ifeanyi-Okowa, who started phase 1 of that road, and how Governor Sheriff Uborewori came on, took it over, expedited action, completed, and is moving on. That is a major one. In addition to that, on the Agbara Road to the Emevor Orugu Road, it was 4 kilometers. I was one time the Super Air Commissioner. I was able to influence 2 kilometers to be done. We still have 2 kilometers done. It's one of the areas where, if we have opportunity, we want government to run for us. If it completes that 2 kilometers, that would be very great. You know, security is a major thing now, so we don't have police station. At some point, we had police posts, and then eventually it was taken away. The people are interested. So these are some of of course, I can never finish all our challenges, but I've just mentioned. So those are by way of what I would call political. Traditional, our challenges right now, we started the process of trying to do the process I described earlier on. But unfortunately, as I speak to you, we have not been able to bring one out to crown, because the last 2 finalists, we had 2 people left. They were not agreeing. You say I'm older than you, and you say you are older than me. You know, we, the operators, we are younger than them. Room for that. Tradition envisaged a situation where the process didn't end smoothly. So if you have 2 or 3, no one conceding to the other, what do you do? What our tradition provides that in situations like that, you go before Umukbedion. There is a place we call Umukbedion. It's like the residence for all the past audios. You are not supposed to lie there. So you go before that Umukbedion and swear. Now, historically and traditionally, the person who is lying is supposed to die within a short while. So in our instant case, when we had two left and we found it difficult to separate who is who, consents of them, and they agreed. They both went to the Umukbedion and supervised by appropriate traditional organs. Now, the setback now is this. It's a setback, but it's still a blessing. Truth of it is we don't want somebody to die. But the setback there is that since nobody has died, it means we don't have a king for now. So it's been a challenge. Now some persons have advocated that for their NIN or birth certificate or even others advocated that you just give them a piece of paper and ask them to write their age. Then we look at the piece of papers, and whoever has the higher age written down by him will then become the one. But I can tell you that those things are not going to be applicable because that is not the process. That's not the traditional process that we know. So it's better we don't dabble into areas that will give us more trouble. So instead, let us stick to the process that is defined for us. Now that we have gone to the Umukbedion and we have practically exhausted almost 2 years now, thereabout, and we find ourselves, maybe the gods are telling us that we should sit down and look at some other ways. But for now, we have that, we are still where we are. So it's a challenge. And we'll continue to put our heads together to look for solutions.
Thank you very much, sir, for your thoughts so far. I mean, I should call you an encyclopedia of knowledge because you know Obo. I want to know, because how do you manage to balance being the Otota and also being a qualified medical doctor? How do you sign these two and how do you balance?
Let's just say you didn't add lawyer. I'm a qualified lawyer too. And I was called to the bar in 2010. So I'm becoming a senior lawyer as well. But let's put it this way. Primarily, I'm a medical doctor. I graduated from the Medical College in 1988, University of Ibadan. And then by 1992, I established this current hospital where we are working. I still work till today. Even when I finish interview with you now, I'll go for my work. So primarily, I'm a medical practitioner. But along the line, the law faculty came to only in the 90s, which is the time I brought my clinic. And I became interested in them. Their lecturers became friends, and I got admitted and studied law. And in 2009, I had to go to law school at Abuja and became a lawyer. But I've not been able to practice law the way I'm practicing medicine. Then I will say further that maybe my first decade of medical practice was a huge success. Though my medical practice today is still a success. But my early success in my practice, attracted me to the local politics. And I became involved with them. And I don't do politics like full-time. I get involved in processes, I get involved in election, I get involved in taking my stand, and then I still share my time to ensure that my primary investment in the hospital does not die off. So then traditionally, why did I become involved? Because my involvement in the tradition of our people is fairly more recent than this medical practice and co. At some point, the last king prevailed on me to be a chief of the kingdom. Before now, I had turned them down because I was trying to stay away from traditional things. But following the way Baba spoke to me, I felt it was a honor, and I find it difficult to turn that. So I took the title of Udede of Emevor Kingdom. Udede means the peace of the kingdom, and that's what I stand for. That's what I've been trying to do. Now, being a chief now placed me as a member of Council of Chiefs. So I have to be attending their meetings and go. And so when the issue of Otota came up, again, my name now came up. And what I do, the simple question you asked was like, so how do I cope? What I do is, if you give me any little assignment, any assignment whatsoever, I try to devote myself to it. So I learn. I sit down with the elders before me. I ask questions. I read where I can read. I do whatever I can so that I understand what I'm doing. And that's what I do for everything I involve myself. And that's why I'm able to cope. Even if I'm going to run something for 1 hour, it's going to be worthwhile 1 hour. And that's what I do. So as of today, I run my hospital very effectively. I run the tradition.
Let's now move a bit from being Otota. Let me address you as Dr. Owe. Last year witnessed a wave of massive defection from the People's Democratic Party, which was the ruling party then in Delta State, to the All Progressive Congress, which is now the ruling party. And you, Doctor, you championed the defection from your people in Emevor. When Governor Sheriff defected, he said his defection was to connect Delta State to the center. Would you say that Emevor has been connected to the center so far?
Yes, why not? We have connected. Now, when we say get attached to Central, you know, the governor of a state do so much for your people. But if you are hostile, there will be no compliment. Development to learn in politics is that you must have a leader. As I sit here, I can't know all that is going on in Abuja. But the governor will meet with relevant people and know what is going on. And being a good man, he will come back home and advise you that if we go this way, we'll gain it more. Now, I can tell you with a wave of hands that the alliance has been good. Delta State is gaining it. Emevor is gaining it. I just told you now about how Emevor Ogun road is being done. It's part of the gains because our governor told us that the support he's having from federal is what is dovetailing some of the things he's able to do. You can see that if you have to compare over the years, there's been a real quantum shift, movement forward in terms of infrastructural provision in the state. You look at what is going on in Warri, look at Asaba, look at the riverine areas. I've just told you about my community. So, yes, we are gaining it.
Elections are fast approaching. How do you intend to sell Governor Sheriff Oborewori to the people of Emevor Kingdom? If you say this man has done this and done this for you, that is if he's your candidate, how then do you sell him to your people?
Governor Sheriff has already sold himself to my people and to Deltans. He has already sold you. I told you the importance of Emevor Ogun Road. I keep on mentioning that, but that's not the only thing he has done for us. But I just must mention that. Every Emevor man, and you can do experiment, go and find out, they will vote for Sheriff. They will vote for Sheriff. And personally, you know, if you look at some of the billboards, you see they say Sheriff na better market. When you campaign for somebody who has performed, it's easier. So gone are the days that you will be telling our community people that the governor did something in Asaba, the governor did something in Warri. No, the governor is doing a massive thing across your yard, and with it, you and your generations will benefit. So it's easy to campaign. Even though I say he has marketed himself, but I will still go ahead and market him all the same, because our goal is for Sheriff to get such volume of votes that he has never gotten before. That is the goal. But beside that, politicking, I will also push to my people that it is in our best interest to support all APC candidates. So we are going to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, of course, people have one or two complaints here and there. It's also our duty to explain to them the difficulties and the challenges that are on. And also support Senator Joe Onuakpo, who is our senatorial candidate. and also support Honorable Jonathan Ukojiko for the House of Rep, and also support Ashaka Robosa for the House of Assembly. And that we describe as 5/5. We want all the 5 candidates that we are going to vote for in our constituency to win in Emevor and to win in Isoko. That's my position. That's our position.
Thank you very much, sir. As we round up, what is your vision and what is your message to the people of Emevor community?
Yes, my vision for them is that of peace, prosperity, progress, development. Now, I started with peace. Peace is the foundation on which you can build all these other things I'm mentioning, including attracting development from government, including attracting appointment. So I will advise the political class, I will advise stakeholders, I will advise different interest group unity upon which every other form of positive development can come.
Thank you very much, for hosting us, and thank you very much for granting us this interview. It was indeed a splendid section. I learned a lot of things, and I'm sure my viewers also learned a lot of things. And moving on, we would want to have you soon, because there are indeed some areas and some festivals that I would want to attend if you bring me, and also some areas where I would like us to still go in depth about. But until then, thank you very much. The Kingdom of Emevor stands as a testament to the enduring strength of tradition, unity, and progress. From preserving centuries-old customs to embracing education and infrastructure, the people of Emevor are writing a new chapter in history, one that balances culture with development. Indeed, it has been an insightful ride to the various communities that make up the Isoko North and Isoko South local government areas of Delta State. Until next time, I am Priscilla Ifani. Keep watching Dots Television.